everybody, Moarhammer here. I've got another battle report for you, and this one is 2,000 points of my Khorne Bloodbound against Skaven. And I think it's the actual first time I've ever played Skaven, so I was really excited. And as you can imagine, it was a bloodbath. But I'll get right into it after the army breakdown. So, here is a picture of deployment, and as you can see, on my side, starting on the far left, I've got a unit of 20 Blood Reavers, then a unit of 10 Blood Warriors, behind which is the Skull Grinder. Then on the right of the Blood Warriors, there's a Slaughter Priest, then 10 Skull Reapers, the Khorgorath, behind which is a Blood Secretor, Blood Stoker, and 5 Wrathmongers. Then just to the right of the Khorgorath, you've got my General Aspiring Deathbringer. And to the right of the Wrathmongers, you've got 10 Skull Reapers and then 20 more Blood Reavers. And then just behind the Skull Reapers is another Slaughter Priest. Or Chuckles, as he's known. As far as everything else is concerned in my army, it's deployed as 2 formations, the Skull Take and the Blood-Marked Warband, as it has been recently. And then because I've got 2 formations, that means I get 3 relics to pick. So my General Aspiring Deathbringer has a Demon Blade. My Slaughter Priest, who's not Chuckles, other Chuckles in fact, has a Crown of Conquest, and then my Skull Grinder has a Relic Blade for the +1 attack. And then my command trait on my Deathbringer was Lord of War. So on his side, starting on the far left, he's got a unit of 20 Plague Monks, then a Screaming Bell. Just to the right of the Screaming Bell, he's got a Plague Priest and a Grey Seer, and the Grey Seer is his general. He's got another unit of 20 Plague Monks. And then he's got 20 Clan Rats, a unit of 10 Clan Rats. And behind that Numinous Oculum, he's got a Plague Claw Catapult. Then 2 Rat Ogres, the other side of that building. A Packmaster, 10 more Clan Rats. And Screech Vermin King, the Vermin Lord. And he's also got 3 Storm Fiends in reserve, so they use their Grinder Fist to tunnel up. So we are playing the mission 3 Places of Power, so there's 3 markers in the middle, and they're to be controlled by heroes. And if you have a hero on there, he scores the number of points equal to the number of turns he's been controlling that objective. Because I finished deploying first, because I have 2 drops, I let him go first. And that's exactly what he does. He comes forward pretty aggressively, and he controls 1 objective with Vermin, with Screech, on the right-hand side there, but he doesn't control any of the objectives yet. He pops up his Storm Fiends in that middle bit of tree there, just so we can get a bit of shots, but also to keep a strong battle line in the middle. Other than that, he kind of he just moves forward, basically, setting up for claiming objective next turn, I think was his basic plan. In the shooting phase, his Storm Fiends shoot at my Skull Reapers, killing 1 and putting 2 wounds into another, so not too bad. That was with the weird projectile things, the gaseous ones, not the warp fire ones, the ones I mean, the scry ones. And then he fires his Plague Claw Catapult at my Blood Reavers and murders 10 of them. Quite a substantial number of them, so that was good. And when we go to the Battle Shock test, almost all of them run away. There's only 3 of that unit left, which sucked. So, yay, good start. So we jump into my turn, and I do a bit of buffing. So my Blood Secret Plus is Banner. I put Lord of War on my Skull Reapers. I whip the Skull Reapers. And I make sure that my Aspiring Deathbringer with his +1 attack command trait and the Wrathmongers would be within decent range of the Skull Reapers, because they are going to go straight into those Storm Fiends and hopefully cut them down. Even though they're in cover, and I think he actually put Mystic Shield on them as well, which was a bit scary. So they had a 2-op save standing in that cover. I was hoping they could do the trick. So, other than that, I kind of just pushed stuff around a little bit. I don't claim any of the objectives yet, because I don't want to push forward too hard. the end of the game here, I was going to try and weather the first 2 or 3 turns. Then I was going to stand on all the objectives and rack up the points I needed to win the game. That was kind of my battle plan. I got no shooting that was in range, because the only shooting I've got is my Khorne's Clory tentacle things. So we jump into the charge phase, and my Skull Reapers have no issue making it into the Storm Fiends, because they had +3 to their charge from the Whippy Man. That is the only charge I've got. So I attack with them first, pile in, and boom. Delete the entire unit. It was brutal. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say about that. We're getting like 6 attacks apiece each, 5 on the Soul Terrors. They're causing mortal wounds on a 5 or a 6 to hit if they successfully wound. In addition to other wounds, yeah, it was brutal. It didn't matter that he had like a 2-up save. It was mostly deleted with. He actually did roll really bad on his saves, but the vast majority of these wounds was taken on mortal, I think so. So we go into the initiative roll-off, and I win it. So I give it to him, because I did not want it then. That was not a useful double turn for me. So, he comes at me a little bit more. He does move Screech off the objective to try and put him into more use, and he moves the Packmaster, who's back there, onto it. In the middle, he doesn't manage to get anybody onto the objective, because I was a bit too close for comfort for him. And on the left-hand side, he moves his Screaming Bell onto the objective, so there was that. Other than that, stuff just kind of moves up to me. And that was good. That was fine by me. That's all I wanted. In the shooting phase, his Plague Claw Catapult aims at the other unit of Blood Reavers and manages to kill 7 of them. Again, not too bad. I did put Inspiring Presence on these guys from the Crown of Conquest, so that was at least not going to happen. And we jump straight into the charge phase. Screech piles into mainly my Aspiring Deathbringer General, kind of on an assassinate mission. He chose because they get to the Screech, he gets to choose a certain thing to buff that turn in terms of himself. He went for the one that gives his blade damage 3 plus D3, so he was pretty much a killing machine, so that wasn't too good. He also piles his Plague Monks into my Skull Reapers, and I wasn't too concerned about this, but maybe I should have been, because he piled in first and deleted deleted like 6 of them. Yeah, 6. He deleted 6 and put 2 wounds onto another. So, and I rolled terribly for my deadly to the last rule. So maybe 1 more dies back, but nothing substantial. So yeah, that was terrifying. These guys can be scary. He did put a bunch of buffs on, or debuffs on me and buffs on him. So he was fine at full capacity, let's say. So I pile in with my Aspiring Deathbringer against the Screech Vermin King, just because I wanted to try and get him to attack first. I put a wound on him, no big deal, and then get absolutely annihilated. Which was actually a little bit concerning, because there goes both my Lord of War command ability and the +1 attack within 6 inches command ability, not to mention my general. So, yeah, that was a sneaky move. So I pile in with. I end up piling with my Wrathmongers and my Khorne and my Bloodstoker. When all's said and done, I'd only do an extra 3 wounds to him, so nothing too substantial, but that's okay. Open my attack over here with my 2 remaining Skull Reapers. They do actually do a massive amount of damage, and they're able to kill a good 10 of these guys. So they actually did a really good show themselves. So I was happy about that. Unfortunately, they did have Inspiring Presence on them, so they were not running anywhere. So we jump into my turn, and I do some stuff. My Bloodscraper plants his banner, as per usual. My Khorne and Bloodstoker flee from combat away from Screech, because I wanted just the Wrathmongers in there, because there's no point having units he can attack. I want him to attack the Wrathmonger so he can hit himself. When my Aspiring Deathbringer died, I do get to choose a new hero from the battle scroll, the battalion. And I choose the hero to be the Wrathmonger champion. So he also left the combat. He's not involved in that anymore. On the left-hand side, I move my Blood Warriors over to the left, because I was hoping they could charge the Plague Monks on the left-hand side. And then I charged the Blood Reavers forward, and they were going to hit the Clan Rats, hopefully with the Skull Grinder and Slaughter Priest. I do try to cast a spell with my Slaughter Priest, but I roll a 1, and he suffers 3 mortal wounds. So, go him. And on the right-hand side, I run my Blood Reavers kind of around the Realm Gates to try and take on the Packmaster, and I was just going to hit the rats in the middle. Chuckles over that side, on the left-hand side, does cast Blood Boil on the clan rats and kill 6 of them. That's why they're missing. So he did a good job, at least. Other than that, well, nothing happens. So we go to the charge phase. My Blood Warriors and Blood Reavers here, as well as the Skull Grinder and other Chuckles, slam into their appropriate targets, and I was happy with that. And over here, my Skull Reapers and Chuckles come into these clan rats, and those guys were doomed. Doomed! And then over here, the 3 Blood Reavers hit the Packmaster. So fingers crossed that'll be alright. I do decide to attack with my Skull Grinder first, because if he kills a model, then every unit within 16 inches gets +1 attack, and that's from the Bloodmarked Warband Battalion. And he has no problem destroying the entire unit. He gets +1 attack from his Relic Blade, and +1 attack from the Blood Secretor being nearby. He ended up just rolling all to hit, all to wound, and just annihilated the entire unit, so that was absolutely outstanding. Over here, he piles in with his Plague Monks against the Skull Reapers and is able to kill both of them, no problem. He does lose another 1 back or 2 back. I think just 1 back from the attacks, but that unit is out of the way for him now. Then I pile in with my Blood Warriors, and I don't do too badly at all. I kill about 6 or 7 Plague Monks, and I think I do a wound to the Screaming Bell as well. He does manage to stab one of me back as he goes down, because he's got that weird power thing, but that was okay. Then he attacks with Screech Vermin King, and kills 4 Wrathmongers and puts 2 wounds onto the unit champion. And when I attack him back, I only put 4 wounds onto him with all his own attacks, so that wasn't actually very good. I just rolled crap for him. But he's down 8 wounds total. He's only got 4 wounds left. Then I pile him with Chuckles and murder this last little guy. Actually, no, sorry. I pile him with Chuckles and don't do anything at all. And then he attacks with his Packmaster in this little thing. Wasn't concerned about this. Turns out he has a damage 3 attack and kills all 3 Blood Reavers. Ugh, stupid Packmaster. And then my Skull Reapers attack and have absolutely no issue destroying the entire... all 4 clan rats. Yay. Then he piles in with the Screaming Bell. Does nothing. No big deal. So I pile in with my Blood Reavers, who were just in range to do so. And I think I put another 1 wound on it, something nothing substantial really. Then he piles in with his Plague Monks, and there's quite a good back and forth here, because as I kill things, as he kills me, I hit him back, and as he dies, he hits me back. So we had a whole thing where he hit me, I died, hit him back, he died, hit me back, and killed one of mine, so he hit back again. It was hilarious, and I love it. But ultimately, I lose 5 Blood Warriors, and he loses almost all of his unit. I think there's 5 more Plague Monks left, so that's fantastic. Then over here, I pile in with my Wrathmonger and put an extra wound on Vermin King. No big deal. So, we go into the initiative roll-off, and he wins it and takes that turn again. So, that's not too much of an issue. I would have liked the double turn there, but I can live without it. First thing he does, he heals D3 wounds on the Vermin King. Yep, fair enough. So he's down to 8 wounds again. He moves his Packmaster towards the Skull Reapers. He moves the Rat Ogres towards the Skull Reapers. He moves the Grey Seer in the middle onto the middle objective to start claiming that one. And he moves his Lorraine Plague Monks towards the Khorgorath. He also does cast Arcane Bolt to other Chuckles, the Slaughter Priest, trying to kill him, and he thinks 2 wounds off, so not quite managing to kill him because he's got 6 wounds, so that was ideal. So, in the shooting phase, very little happens. He did try to kill the Wrathmonger with the Prehensile Tails from Screech, but he didn't manage it, fortunately. And I think his Catapult may have missed this turn. So he goes into the charge phase. His Plague Monks charge into the Khorgorath, and his Rat Ogres come into Chuckles. He attacks with there first, does 2 wounds to him, not a big deal. So I attack with my Khorgorath next. I don't do too badly at all, actually. I kill 4 Plague Monks. So yeah, there's only a couple of them left now. Then he attacks with Screech, and boom, we kill each other, which is absolutely fantastic. I am more than happy with that trade, even though he did kill my general. But that's him down now, and that's fantastic. With the Thorn on my side. So I pile in over here next with my Skull Grinder, and I put 3 wounds onto the Packmaster. I was hoping I would kill him, because then I'd obviously blood bless everything around me. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so he's only got 1 wound left. Then he piles in with his Screaming Bell, and he's able to kill 1 Blood Warrior and 3 Blood Reavers, which isn't too bad at all. Unfortunately, nothing happens back. So I pile him with other chuckles, and I'm able to kill that remaining Packmaster, which is fantastic. So dealt him the killing blow, and that is ideal. He attacks over here with his Plague Monks and isn't able to do a single thing against Keith, which is fantastic. So I pile in with stuff around the Screaming Bell, but I'm not able to do anything to it with my Blood Reavers. So then over here, my Skull Reapers all smack around the Rat Ogres and hack them down completely, which is fantastic. They did a very, very good show there. So, we go into my turn. And I decided that I need to deal with the objectives now. So, I whip Chuckles, the Slaughter Priest, and run him as far as possible towards the middle objective. I actually did cast Blood Boil with him, and I managed to hit his Grey Seer, roll a 6, and take him off, which is fantastic news. So he no longer claimed that objective. So I run Chuckles onto that one. Earlier, when I said that the Wrathmonger champion was made the hero when my general died, I actually lied to you. Sorry, it was actually the one of my right-hand Skull Reaper guys. So he's actually the champion, not the Wrathmonger, the guy that died. So sorry about that. Anywho, I also cast Blood Boil with other Chuckles at the Screaming Bell and plink another bunch of wounds off that. So that's got 10 wounds taken on it. So I fled with my Blood Reavers towards the Clan Rats in the middle there. I tried to get my Skull Reapers as far towards them as possible. And then I move other Chuckles and the Skull Grinder towards the Screaming Bell. In the charge phase, both of those characters make it into the Screaming Bell, which is fantastic. And this character makes it into, because he's a hero now, he can claim that objective. So I'm hoping he could kill the Packmaster and claim that objective. That would be ideal. So, unfortunately, I'm not able to kill him. I put him down to 1 wound, which sucked. I was hoping he wouldn't kill me back, because that would be disastrous. So he attacks with the Screaming Bell next, is able to kill other Chuckles, put 2 wounds onto the Skull Grinder, which was not great, but c'est la vie. So I go with my Korgorath next, and able to kill all remaining Plague Monks, which was a fantastic show. I do lose 2 wounds in the process, but that's no big deal. And then my Skull Grinder manages to smash apart that Screaming Bell, which is fantastic. So that blood blesses my Blood Reavers and Blood Warriors and himself. So not a massive deal, but it'll do. So we go into my turn, because I get the double turn, which is a fantastic time to win it. So I haven't got it all game, but now is a perfect time. So on the right-hand side, I move my Bloodstoker within range of being able to charge that Packmaster. And my Skull Reapers, Chuckles, the Korgorath, the Blood Reavers, and the Blood Warriors all pile in around the middle to try and take care of those Clan Rats. I leave my Skull Grinder on the left-hand side to claim that objective. He took that from the Screaming Bell, because that's a hero. And I'm still controlling the middle objective with Chuckles, and hopefully if I can kill the Packmaster on the right-hand side, that leaves me with all 3 objectives on turn 4, so I've got 2 turns essentially to claim all the objectives back that I need to and be able to win the game. So, everything just piles in here, and it's brutal. Over the course of all these guys attacking, they just murder everything there, which is fantastic. When it comes to fighting the Packmaster, yeah, I've got no problem killing him either, which is fantastic for me. So, then we go into his turn, and the only thing he's got left is the Plague Claw Catapults, which takes aim at Chuckles and kills him. No! And the problem with that is, because he died, he's no longer claiming that objective, which means that I can't score enough points on those last 2 objectives to get back the deficit I was under from all the points that my opponent scored. So even though in the following turn he aims a shot at Chuckles, doesn't kill him, sorry, not Chuckles, my Skull Grinder, aims a shot at my Skull Grinder, doesn't kill him, but I needed to score 1 more point to be able to win the game. So in my next turn, I run my my Bloodstoker and my Bloodsecrator at that middle objective, but I don't make it. Which means that he wins the game by a single point. and that sucks. But it was a hell of a good game anyway. It was really, really fun. And I love a close game that comes down to like that, so close to the end, so close to the end. So, yep, there you have it. It is a victory. It is a loss. Sorry, not a victory. It is a loss for the Legions of Khorne, or the Khorne Bloodbound. But it was still a hell of a game, and I'm sure there'll be a rematch in the future. As far as my units, I was very pleased with the Skullgrinder of that game. He did great, as did my Slaughter Priests. I find Slaughter Priests can be a bit hit and miss, but in this game they really, really were worthwhile taking. Blood Warriors, again, did what they always do. Skull Reapers, same thing. Especially the ones in the middle that just took out those Rat Ogres, the Storm Fiends straight away. They were really, really impressive. And typically, the Blood Reavers kind of just died, so... But nevertheless, it was a really good game, and like I said, there will be a rematch in the future. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for another battle report.